that. And we don't know what nights the matches are going to take place on, but we want to go over the matches that we know. If they ain't announced it by goddamn a week out, what the fuck, right? For heaven's sake. But besides that, did you see the report that remember we just talked about these tickets weren't selling and they were like 21,000 some and 22,000 some respectively for the given nights. And then in the last week, they've sold, 7,000 fucking tickets? Or was that 7,000 for each night? Or was that just 7,000 in total? It may have been 7,000 where they're up to like 29,000. This is why I don't know if you can magically call up the information on this thing. But there's something going on around here. I'm smelling a little rodent running around. It's not my cute little puppies. It's a slimy little fucking paperer.
Well, Jim, I have it here, the latest update from WrestleTix. According to WrestleTix, night 1, Saturday, August 1st, the tickets distributed as of now is 30,205. Night 2, 29,897.
So that's 15,000 tickets individually over the last week. So does he have the update on since last update, or what's causing all this? In the immortal words of Arn Anderson,
this is as of this morning, as we are recording, and the cheapest ticket is $76.10 standard admission right now, not counting any sales or any free tickets. 10 days until the show. Number of seats on the map, 72,287.
Well, but now that they did some type of $25 general admission sale or something, but does that account for that? Has there been an announcement in the last week of Jesus' resurrection during intermission? What could have happened there when they were limping along, and all of a sudden, boom! They go from 20,000 to 30,000 both nights.
I mean, unless it's CM Punk and I apologize for noise behind me, and unless it's CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, just the excitement over seeing that match, if there is that much, or Brock and Oba.
But hadn't they announced that before?
Yeah, Nick Aldis? Maybe Nick Aldis moved all those tickets.
I forgot about Nick. And by the way, folks, this is not Brian Last Gardeners. I'll have you know, it's his fucking neighbor's gardeners.
No, they're mine. They're mine. They've come on the wrong day now a couple weeks in a row. We're going to have a talk. But Jim, once again, let's go to SummerSlam. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
Minnesota is what it's called on the map.
Or as Arn Anderson used to say it to Nikita Koloff, Minnesota.
The U.S. Bank Stadium. While we have buzzing in the background, let's talk about this buzzworthy card here, Jim. For the Women's World Championship.
See, yeah, they wouldn't want us on Sirius Radio anyway, because we're not serious about our radio.
Well, that's the problem. They wanted us on Sirius Radio, but anyway.
They weren't serious about their radio.
The champion, Liv Morgan, versus Io Sky.
You know, I'm torn. I'm conflicted. Because I like Liv Morgan as a personality, and she strikes me as a peppy little thing, and she took that goose egg on her forehead well. She's painfully small, but of course it don't matter to me. But then it's Io Sky, and good Lord, she's going to be she points at her head like she has big fucking knots coming out of her. I may have to flip a coin on that.
All right, I'm pulling for Liv Morgan, who I think is...
Well, no, I want Liv to win. I'm flipping a coin as to whether I watch it.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. I think you should give it a chance. Jim, in a match where the winner gets to keep $100,000 that was previously stolen from Judgment Day, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio.
Wait a minute. Honestly, of course, listeners know I don't give a shit what's going on with the Judgment Day these days. But how did they manage to? Who stole $100,000 from who?
Danhausen stole $100,000 from Judgment Day, and then they thought they got it back, but they opened the bag and the bills have been replaced with like Danhausen money. So now they're trying to get back their money, and the only way they could do it is to have this match with Dominic Mysterio against Dan. Dominic Mysterio beat John Cena on his retirement tour. Let's see what he can do with Danhausen.
Oh, I don't know, because Danhausen he's younger than Cena. So he's got more gas left in the tank. Holy Christ. And they're testing the theory. This is all I'll say. They're testing the theory here, or the statement that I've made, that Dominic is such a classic chicken shit heel that has the heat that the people like to have, that you can beat him and it doesn't hurt him like it would a big fucking monster or whatever. But
introducing Samsung Galaxy Card. Earn 5% cash rewards on eligible purchases made.
Beat him and it doesn't hurt him like it would a big fucking monster or whatever. But this will be, I'm sure Dominic will win in some fashion after the antics, but still just that he's going to have to probably put in a little bit of time in this. It's going to be comedic.
All right, Jim, well, the laughs continue. We have more card here. For the Intercontinental Championship, the champion Penta versus Chad Gable in his hometown.
I will watch that. Normally, Penta just don't take a lot of his gravy to go all over my plate. But Gable in his hometown, and he's got now experience working in Mexico, so he can even make some of Penta's halfway goofy shit look plausible. I'll watch that, and hopefully Gable will win, because there's a lot more upside there to him in a variety of places than there is to Penta. And old Felix just showed up and got split up because they came in at different times and made a big splash and then sunk to the bottom like a turd in a punch bowl, didn't they?
Well, he's the Intercontinental Champion here.
Well, but I mean, everybody was acting like, oh no, these guys are going to be the rulers of the world. That's Obafemi. We all know that.
Penta's been there a while. He sells a lot of merch and he's popular. Phoenix.
Where'd Felix go?
I'm not sure what he's doing exactly, but of course they have AAA, so there's lots of options.
Well, there you go.
So we'll see what happens there with that match. But Jim,
Gable, he's our man. If he can't do it, well, just fuck it. We'll all go home.
Oh, he has to do it. I mean, after everything that the character has gone through, this is the redemption right here. Jim, another match in a 5-way ladder match for the interim WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax.
Ooh.
Versus to be determined.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, now I understand that the refrigerator has lost a bunch of weight. I just saw a report that she's lost to somewhere nearly 100 pounds from whatever her her peak inflation was. And so that may slow her up, but she's noted for landing on people or throwing a few potatoes every once in a while. Then you've got Tiffany, who's greener than a pepper tree, greener than chlorophyll, as Frank Spaceman Hickey would say. You've got Jade, who, I mean, I don't know how many ladder matches she's had. She's good on the ground when they can choreograph it like a aggressive dance routine. Poor Charlotte, Jesus Christ. But she's got a bad knee. And I don't know what the fucking health state of to be determined is, but their big money female ball player, Rhea Ripley, gets injured. A knee injury. Imagine that. So they decide to put 5 more of the fucking girls many of whom are very inexperienced in this particular line of combat, climbing ladders, taking bumps off of them, and or inexperienced in everything, and some of whom have bad knees or history of potentially landing on people. Let's put them in a fucking 5-way ladder match and see how many other ones we can fucking mow down all at the same time.
They found a way to get me to watch. I want to see if Nia can climb that ladder. But we'll see what happens. Can't ask you for a prediction. We have a to be determined.
Yeah, that could wild card, bitches. That could throw the whole thing off. This could be like also, they actually booked a ladder match between Tojo Yamamoto and Dutch Mantel in 1982 in Memphis. And poor Tojo, his legs weren't 2.5 feet long. And it was just comical seeing him trying to climb the ladder. And that was before that the ladder match was a thing, because who was it? It might have been Danny Davis and Ken Wade. Out of somebody brought it down from Calgary, brought the idea down. So we had ladder matches before they were cool. But Tojo never got to the top of it.
Well, Jim, let's see who gets at the top of the ladder in the next match. 6-man tag team action. The Bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso versus L.A. Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys.
Boy, howdy. It didn't last long for Obafemi. Just took all of fucking old Royce Keys' goddamn aura away, didn't he? They show up at about the same time, but one is bigger and talks better and younger and more popular. Do you like the idea of this, again, this whole thing with who are the baby faces and who are the heels? They love L.A. Knight. Poor Royce hadn't really got a chance, but Solo, Knight. Poor Royce hadn't really got a chance, but Solo. And I know, and I haven't again even given a shit about the build for this, because I don't want to see all these people fighting each other. Do you?
No, I hate this secondary bloodline shit. If Roman's not involved, it takes it down a notch. And, you know, the idea of Fatu and the Usos against kind of this makeshift team where, again, is Solo a babyface or a heel? I'm not exactly sure. L.A. Knight is just stuck where he always is. And Royce Keys, I don't care. They did all that work. They claim they did all that work to show his personal life, and he was on Stephanie's podcast. It is not translated. They've just dropped the ball completely. It's not about other guys that were brought up or anything at the same time. They just haven't made him interesting, I don't think.
Well, that's true. They haven't made him that visible, to be honest.
I mean, Trick Williams just came up. Javon Evans just came up. Ethan Page just came up. A lot of other guys who are in the mix. Royce Keys is in the mix here with the bloodline stuff, and we'll see if maybe this will change it, but it hasn't felt like they've done it right yet.
It was that Jacob Fatu was a legitimate, I could have been a contender. Stella! People legitimately thought at one point here about 3 or 4 months ago, Jacob Fatu could be the world heavyweight champion, or one of them. And now he's in a 6-man tag just because of his brothers and the other fucking guy, Jacob Light. All right, continuing on.
Jacob Fatu is smaller than he was, and that's not the worst thing if it improved his health, but he also now just talks slowly and clearly, and it's just they lost all the energy.
And remember when we said that, and it looked like for 2 weeks like they brought the werewolf back. Then they domesticated him and taught him how to pee on his pad and put him in the fucking, and I love you, Roman. What the fuck?
Well, Jim, this next match, one I'm looking forward to, Gunther versus Nick Aldis.
I bet you that they will have the best wrestling match of the weekend. If you're looking for actual professional wrestling where I don't think there's going to be, hopefully not, a ton of furniture involved. I don't think there's going to be a bloodbath. Hopefully don't think that they'll even have to bury the referee. But I think just for work, whatever they do, however they decide to approach the match, I bet for actual execution of work, that'll be start to finish the best match of the fucking weekend. And I think people are going to go crazy over the fucking thing when they see it unfold in front of them. And Gunther has to win, but it remains to be seen whether they're going to involve Gunther's next, dance partner, as they say, with in the finish, if he just beats him or if he's trying to inflict too much punishment. Here comes Zabada. I hope they wouldn't go with here comes Zabada and he causes Aldis to beat Gunther unless they're going to bring it back. I don't see him bringing it back because the law of diminishing returns don't, unretire too often. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, me too, but my only question is, and I want it to be a really good match, but should it be? I mean, he's not a celebrity and he's not a civilian. He's a former wrestler, although never there, Nick Aldis, but he's been a GM for a while. He's been out of active competition. Should he have a long match with Gunther? Should it be competitive? Or
you don't pay attention to what I say, do you? Because I said this the other dadgum day. You were probably busy counting the ratings. But no, it doesn't need to be one of these AEW nail biters for 20 minutes. My God, he kicks the shit out of Gunther and Gunther wins by the skin of his teeth. But at the same time, it's not like if Nick Aldis had been a pro wrestler many years ago, but now he's fucking 50-something years old and he's fat or he's gray or whatever. Look at him in a fucking suit. He looks better than half the roster. And he can work. And I think if they do, that's why I said the other day, they ought to make some kind of deal with Billy Corgan for footage or something to where they do a 2 or 3 minute package before TNA. The match.
He was in TNA, wasn't he?
TNA.
Yeah.
Well, but that was long ago and oh so far away when I fell in love with him before the second show. But it's something to show him in a positive light. He was a former NWA champion. He's been in the ring. He's had matches with Cody. He'd been at whatever the case. Do that package and have him say, I've been retired as an in-ring competitor for the past X years. What is it? 3 years, 4 years, whatever. But I'm 39 years old and I'm a man and I try to stay in good shape. And I'm not, the old Bill Watts, I'm not ready for a long campaign. I'm not coming out of retirement. I just want to get even with this fucking guy.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and
ready for a long campaign. I'm not coming out of retirement. I just want to get even with this fucking guy. And they can do some shit early, but eventually I think Gunther has to wear him out and fucking beat him, but it's not like you're talking a goddamn civilian or a referee or somebody that it would be ridiculous if they had any offense or Marco Stunt or whatever. So and plus it's a personal issue. Personal issues draw money.
All right, well, let's see what other money-drawing matches were potentially on this show or are on this show. Jim Hell in a Cell, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
And Obafemi's got to win this or just the whole world has gone insane. And that's what they were doing, I guess. 2 out of 3. When they did it's just, this has been so odd. But the build to a couple of these main events, this is the first one we'll talk about, has been odd to me. If the whole retirement thing tease just the action of Brock being emotional when he never is, and leaving his shoes at the whole 9 yards, if that wasn't a spontaneous moment and was all part of the plan, Smithers, then it really was a shitty plan. And I don't know that for Brock to be at SummerSlam in Minneapolis against Obafemi for the third and final confrontation, I would have preferred that Oba just beat Brock and leave it there and let Brock do some angle with somebody where he could be, and I've mentioned it before, with Heyman, might have been a great thing. You're forcing him back in the ring contractually, you evil business, fucking manager, whatever, and let Brock be in a kind of a more babyface position. Have the same match, do the same thing, that he always does, but the people would cheer for him. But Obafemi better goddamn win this fucking match. One would think, unless. But then I'm confused. If we thought Oba winning the King of the Ring would lead to him challenging Roman for the title at SummerSlam. If Roman came out and fucked him during the goddamn Hell in a Cell, but Roman's allegedly some kind of baby face, at least in the Pacific Islands and certain atolls off the fucking coast. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Jim, 2 more matches here. For the World Heavyweight Championship, the champion Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
I can't see, since they seem to be so enamored of Roman, I can't see them taking the thing off of him at this point. Can you?
No, but I mean, they could. Man, I hate to say it, I just don't care. It's a Roman Reigns match, and they haven't really made me care about whether or not he's the champion or not.
There's going to be a lot of walking around.
A lot of talking. A lot of mid-match speeches.
Speechifying.
That the crowd will be quiet for it, but the cameras will pick it up, don't worry. Do you have a prediction, Roman?
Either Roman. Roman will reign.
All right, Jim, finally, for the WWE Championship, undisputed championship, that is, the champion CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
I believe, for every drop of rain that falls, I believe that CM Punk will retain the championship that he just won, but that something will happen involving either Gunther or potentially Sammy or potentially both that will render Cody down and subject to being beaten, but not something that Punk actually was the eyewitness to and could then be accused of capitalizing on. How about them apples?
Minnesota apples, I guess we can say.
That's right. Goes along with the Wisconsin cheese.
Well, there it is. That's SummerSlam. 2 nights. We'll see how they do it. This would have been a really good one-night card. 9 matches.
They've got enough for one, don't they?
Yeah. 9 matches. It could have gone 4 hours, because of 9 matches, but still. They're going to divide this up. Maybe they'll add another match so it's not just 4 matches and 5 matches, but not a lot here for 2 nights. Nothing to get excited about traveling for, I don't think.
Well, there's going to be some other things that get announced days
commercials.
out.
Extra commercials. Brand new commercials.